sauce god. Running fast with a drip drop. Glick on my waist, that's just in case I never get caught. Slipping, but I'm sliding. Never slipping, but I'm sliding.
Alright, what's up, everybody?
Three blue, four blue, hundreds.
This is the Bushido Mob presents.
Yep. Bushido
First
Mob.
one ever.
Bushido Mob.
First. I'm special. That means I'm the golden child, Mom.
Alright, so let everybody know. Who are you?
Who are we talking to today?
I'm Sir Pap, hailing from the Ratchet, Tampa, Florida. And I'm 28, a rapper / songwriter. I'm funny looking, and Sauce God is out everywhere.
Yeah, Sauce God.
Well, take it a little easy. I mean, no? You just gotta flex it though real quick, right?
That's exactly what that was.
Okay, cool.
So I've been listening to Sauce God since it came out. I play at least once a day, and of course it's not one time a day. But I'm proud to say that I'm listening to some dope shit coming out of my speakers from this individual in front of me.
Yeah, like 2 days ago, I was just like repeat. It was like repeat.
I actually got that from a few
couple
people.
times. It was like repeat.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
It's a polished song.
Well, thanks.
Production is great by B.O.
Yeah.
Shout out to B.O.
Shout out to
He
B.O.
killed it.
My dog is a lord on the beats.
So how long you been rapping and making music?
You know, this is actually going to be probably a surprise to some people. I'm not one of those people that's been like rapping all my life. I think I want to say I picked it up at like the age of 16. Me and a partner of mine, E Boogie, that's the name he goes by now. We used to smoke reefer a whole lot, skip school, and just like freestyle. And I remember the first cypher I ever jumped in. It's like the worst thing I've ever done in my life. I was so confident for no reason. And
like
one of the
rapping.
dudes in the cypher was like, yo, go kill yourself. That's terrible. And I was like, oh, okay.
Man, that harsh? Like,
yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was really bad. So there was no just anything to it. It was like bland chicken. Like nobody likes bland chicken. If you like bland chicken, you're a narc. And yeah. So I kind of picked it up from there and was just like, yo, this is dope. Like I really like music. You know what I'm saying? I was always with like a Bluetooth speaker playing some music. So I would always have the beats and whatnot, and we would just start ciphers like everywhere. In GED, in high school, middle school, like anywhere we was at. It's just like, you know what, let's rap. So
I feel like not a lot of people do that nowadays.
It went away. It definitely, I don't see it as much anymore.
In terms of the freestyle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of it is more, in my opinion, I think people want to look as raw as they can on it. So they'll obviously do some rehearsed stuff versus just playing around with it and almost like enjoying the moment of a freestyle. Whether you do trash and like the next dude picks it up and you just keep kind of going and whatnot. Or whether you spit like the hardest thing off the top you've ever done in your life.
And that's always the fun thing about freestyling
Absolutely.
or being in a cypher. Just you get better each time.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's fun. It's something cool to do. It's not something you have to, you know, murk everybody at, obviously, unless you're, you know,
like a battle
like
rapper
BET
or something.
Awards. Yeah, something like that. So
When did you feel that rap was going to be your thing? Like,
it's that's tough. It's really shortly after I started doing music.
or when you didn't bomb your freestyle session?
Yeah, exactly.
For the first time.
It was like really shortly after that because I just like I really enjoyed music almost down to like a science, and you know grew up on the boom bap type thing and like have a huge appreciation for it. But as a music head at the same time, like I appreciate what almost everybody contributes to music. So while a lot of boom bap heads hate like trap and whatnot, like I have a certain appreciation for it, and almost tried to blend the two when it comes to making music. And that was like the fun part for me, trying to make something that has jammability, but to where you're also saying some shit at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's what I hear when I listen to the song, because it's got that modern beat vibe, and it's, you know, out here in Atlanta, you hear nothing but trap everywhere. So it's like it kind of blends in with the whole vibe of the music scene here. But then when you hear the lyrics, it's got all that, you know, rap flow and everything going on. Because there's a part in the song too I really like where you know your cadence changes and it's more hyped up. It's just, that's something you get from like real hip hop music. I sound like such an old head saying this, but it's, you know, it's a change of pace, and it's, you know, really inviting to listen to a song like that.
So for me, I feel like the change of cadence is almost like an attention grabber. Because if you just rap the same way like the entire song, it kind of gets boring after a while. You know, no matter how hard you're spitting, how dope the punchlines, metaphors, etc. are. It's like when you switch up the flow, it's like, oh, that was unexpected. Like, okay, that's dope. So, and plus, you know, nowadays everybody has short attention span, so you have to kind of keep hold of that. And that's, you know, that's also something that's true for me. I can't listen to a guy who literally spits the same way for a whole 3 minutes, unless it's, you know, a freestyle, you know, somebody doing something in an interview, anything like that.
Or if
you know,
it's
something
short,
sway in the
you know.
morning, yeah. So for the music, it's, you know, you got to keep the attention held at all times, and that's really what I tried to do with it. So, and you'll hear a lot of that with the Shmoove Tape as well.
Oh, so we're gonna just talk about the Shmoove Tape now?
Go right into it. No, wait.
So-
Before we get into the Shmoove Tape, I'd like to know Pap's come up in the Tampa scene, because we can all say that us as musicians and friends, we came up in the scene together in Tampa.
Yeah.
My first time seeing Pap perform live, because I think I saw you around shows and stuff, and we were talking. We weren't as close as we are now here in Atlanta, but the first time I saw you, I did not expect what I see on stage. Because I remember we were at Crowbar or something. Shout out to Tom, to George. Crowbar's an awesome venue if you're ever in Tampa, Florida.
Big facts.
Go there whether there's a show or not a show. You're going to have a good time.
Big facts.
But when you got on the stage, you just started ripping the mic. Like, I mean, that's what I got from it. I don't know if I was like drunk or something, but I just remember I was watching like beast mode happening on stage. And then, you know, time went on, and now we're up here in Atlanta. But tell me how you felt about growing up in the Tampa music scene.
The Tampa music scene was fire, in my opinion. I was always, you know, when I wasn't doing shows at all, was constantly attending, supporting, you know, local artists and whatnot. And I feel like Tampa was a gold mine for talent. You could go to a local show and just watch different people like tear the house down. And I was always inspired about it, and it kept me on my P's and Q's as an artist, you know what I'm saying? Wanting to progress, wanting to be either at that same level or, I guess, better, you know what I'm saying? And not in a sense of like, you know, screw everybody else, but like almost like brotherly competition, you know what I'm saying? Friendly competition with everybody there. And I think that's, you know, a dope aspect of hip-hop and just Tampa music scene, period. But my first show was actually with a group of mine I had called The Beautiful Theory at the time.
I remember that.
That was very, very short-lived. It was dope, but it was short-lived. That was my first show I think I ever performed, ever.
Where was it at?
Shout out to Prince. That was at Cafe Hay, the first basement sessions.
Wow.
Yep.
That's history. That's history.
Yeah.
That was just a legendary show, because it was one of my first ever. Besides, you know, like rehearsing on stages that nobody was in front of or nothing like that. You know, I would play around and whatnot. But yeah, Cafe Hay, Beautiful Theory, first show ever, and it was just like the energy was crazy. Me being in front of a crowd, like I was as nervous as can be, and as soon as I got on stage, I literally felt at home. It was like, damn, this is where I'm supposed to be.
It was
You know what I'm
packed. It was packed.
Yeah.
That was a great basement session.
It was shoulder to shoulder in there.
Like DJ Knox was DJing, Lewis Jr. was on the bill. Like there's some heavy hitters there.
Yeah.
Yo,
Dope.
that pre-show anxiety.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's real, especially first show. I
Yeah.
felt like that my first show.
It's like
For
that
sure.
for every show,
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh, for every show?
I'll look at the stage and it's just like, oh man, I don't know. Like, I should probably turn around right now.
It's like
and
you start walking around like a crack addict.
yeah, exactly.
It's
You
just
know what I'm
like-
saying? It's like, yo, should I even be doing this? I'm probably wasting my time. A mic gets into my hand and it's like showtime. You know what I'm saying? It's like the game is on. Let's bust this down.
Speaking of Beautiful Theory, though, That's where like that was the first time I saw you. It wasn't at Cafe Hey though. It was at some random ass hardcore festival in Brandon, Florida. It's all these hardcore bands, and then all of a sudden it's like I see these 3 dudes, and then they just start rapping, and it's just super dope. And then I remember you killing it, and then that's like the first time I met you, not knowing that you knew Mateo either, because I was already with Samurai and I knew Mateo, so it's just like that was crazy. That was
Small
dope.
world.
Yeah.
Very, very. Tampa's definitely tiny. So
Tiny Tampa.
5-minute drive.
It is.
For real.
Compared to here, compared to Atlanta.
You miss that. If you move to Atlanta or somewhere similar, it makes you not talk any smack towards Tampa traffic.
Right.
Yeah, because now I tell people like, oh, it's real close. It's like 20 minutes. They're like 20 minutes. Like,
And like across town in Tampa is like 12 minutes.
that's it.
Yeah,
Wild.
you could be like back home. It'd be like, oh, I'm in Tampa. I'm going over to St. Pete. Dang, I gotta cross over the bridge. 20 minutes of my life gone.
Right?
Here it's like I gotta go to work. 2 hours later, I'm clocking in.
It's a fact. To get some good food is a 30-minute drive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
everything up here is at least a 30-minute drive for the most part. So even if you're like smack dab in the city or downtown Atlanta.
For those hearing this who live in Tampa or St. Pete, it's like down there you have the option to take the interstate or like a road like Del Mabry or Kennedy, and then there's like roads like Henderson and just some behind the scenes stuff. None of those are up here. you have the interstate, and then you have like
Off the state.
yeah. There's no McDill. There's nothing convenient about driving here.
No Hillsboro.
So when did you move to Atlanta?
I moved, I want to say mid 2014. Moved up here because my grandfather got really, really sick in health. Me, mom, and sis actually thought we were going to have to like take in my grandmother. And turns out not even a month or two later, my grandfather was completely fine.
That's nice.
So,
That's
yeah,
dope.
yeah,
He trolled
yeah. It was just like, it was a shocking moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, we think he's on his deathbed and we come up here and like everything's cool. So it was, I don't want to say it sucked for the move. You know what I'm saying? It was great that my grandfather was fine, but it was like a really unexpected, like just kind of like jump, like real spontaneous. Nothing that was like planned out for some years or, hey, 2014, we're going to Atlanta. It was just like you know what? Let's go.
But then you ended up here though. So
I did.
And how do you feel about being here now?
It's home, honestly.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the city, love the feel. I think the only bad thing that anybody could really say about it is just the drive.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So here's a question then: if you were stayed in Tampa though, you think you would have this Shmoove Tape?
No. So I think life worked out how it was supposed to work out. I think I would have had way more music out. I don't think I would have experienced half the things that I've experienced now to get me to this point. So, and I think, I like to say I'm one that works on my craft and kind of studies music and whatnot. I think if I was in Tampa, I would have just been kind of putting stuff out to put stuff out, not really like, you know what, I'm going to really throw my all into this.
Just like oversaturating instead of actually like
just kind of
making
throwing,
something
random stuff out that really didn't have, or in my opinion, would be dope.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's, yeah.
So what was like then your inspiration for your music, for Shmoove Tape and Sauce God? Like what, like it doesn't even have to be a musician. Like what was the inspiration?
Who did you grow up listening to?
Man, that's tough because a lot of the music I grew up listening to, I don't want to say a lot, I don't listen to now. Like Eminem, loved him growing up. Don't listen to Eminem at all now.
I'm sorry to Eminem fans, but I've never been an Eminem fan. People always ask me, one, because I'm white, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Shout out to Eminem for having one of the best lyrical abilities in the world, but I can't listen to you.
I like the first album. First album was fire. After that, after the Slim Shady album, I was like,
I think that was it for me too. And I think a lot of me not listening to some of the music I grew up listening to was when I had my first system in the car. And it was like, man, this song has no thump at all. then would turn on, like, I remember hating, like, Gucci Mane growing up. Put him on the system for the first time when I got it in my car. And was just like, yo, this is the most incredible thing ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand why people love it.
There's the first step to Atlanta right there.
Big facts. So, but yeah, putting the system in the car kind of changed the way I listen to music, which is why the Shmoove Tape sounds the way it does now. Because if I was still in Tampa making music, I probably would be the biggest boom bap, backpack, Lupe Fiasco sounding rapper ever. And not that there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, this is where Pap is at now currently.
People change.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down
Growth
to.
is a beautiful thing. But yeah.
So like because I know we keep talking about Tampa all the time, but that's where we come from as artists. But like, who did you see in the scene back home that kind of drove, gave you drive and whatnot?
Ooh. I don't want to say that's tough. There's just so many. Vern Sr., that's my man's 100 grand. Vern is just like too smooth of a rapper in my opinion. He makes it all look effortless. I was always inspired by Vern. Mike Mass, very dope lyricist. Just always thought he was fire. When he would get on stage, it was like another side of him would come out. Eisenpower was dope. The Villains,
sure.
They were fire.
Back to the Villains.
Prince Golden. So it's I honestly can't think of them all off the top, but there's so
a lot.
many artists.
Yeah.
There's
a lot come and go, and like, I'm sorry I don't remember shit, but there's times where people bring up names. It's just like, oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
That.
I remember Eisenpower just killing always. Just
Yeah.
First time I seen Eisenpower, it was just mad lyrics, mad bars, and his style was kind of unorthodox. It was crazy. His rhyme pattern, and that's what got me.
Yeah.
Was his flow.
Yeah, his flow was incredible, and then when he was on stage, he would just like veer off to the side and rap into like a wall, damn near. And it was just like, yo, like this is weird, but this is fire at the same time. Like, because he's not rapping like unconfidently, in the corner. He's like killing that wall, you know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds weird, but
Eisenpower is like, he's like a Haley's Comet. If you get the chance to see him, you're just,
that's a fact.
You're just, and he reps Valrico, so like,
which is dope. Yeah, I lived in Valrico for a little
bit, and like, Eisenpower's that dude. If him and Cambada were on a track together, God, your headphones would explode.
Probably.
That's a lot of bars.
Probably.
Definitely.
That's an infinite amount of bars. That'd be a 20-minute song off rip.
They call it infinite bars.
He does like one show a year. Because when I booked him for Basement Sessions last year, he hadn't done a show in like a year and a half. I was like, wow. So,
that's wild.
Yeah.
We need more Eisenpower shows.
But yeah, Tampa was just a gold mine. I mean, there's so many mentions. DZ's crazy.
DZ is that
the energy at a show. Like my dog's just ridiculous with it. Audio artwork. Shout out to Marvillis, Free My Dog, Travis Laveau. It's just so many I could name. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I had a list written down for it. But yeah, Tampa. I honestly believe Tampa to be like a gold mine for just really talented people. So
there's a constant, back and forth between, can Tampa be a music mecca? I'm not going to go into that, but what I can say is that if you're looking for awesome talent in an unexpected area, it's probably going to be like Tampa and St. Pete.
Definitely.
Because there's just uniqueness to the situation. You're one of them, like.
For sure.
For
sure. So we've talked about Shmoove a little bit, like people been hearing that, we've been talking about it, but what exactly is the Shmoove Tape?
Ooh, it's just a collection of savage papness, to be completely honest. It's the Shmoove Tape is really just an extension of me. Like, for everybody who's been asking, Pap, where have you been at? Where's the music? What are you doing? Etc. Etc. You'll hear a lot of that on Shmoove Tape. A lot of it was personal. A lot of it is where I'm currently like at in life, you know what I'm saying? Like Sauce God, like you'll hear a lot of that on Sauce God. Sauce God is a lot of me like talking my shit, but it'll also almost give you insight to what Pap is thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Because growth is like almost like this wave I've just been riding for like the past 6 months, and it's just been like trending nothing but up. So the Shmoove Tape, real personal project. It's not one of those like super conceptualized like Good Kid, Mad Cities, but it'll definitely be an extension of me. Like if anybody's been wondering where's Pap, hearing the growth as an artist, as a man and whatnot, like you'll hear all that on there.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, like from the outside looking in, you're like one of the most inspiring people when it comes to getting your shit together. I hear the things you tell me about, like, oh, I've been working 300 hours a week, saving my money. I'm gonna drop all this money on studio time.
Yeah, this dude, like, I haven't taken a day off in 6 months. I'm like,
what am I doing with my life? You know, like. Yeah. You're like the Gary V.
Like, word. It's I mean, I'm a student of Nipsey Hussle. Like in the short time that I've listened to him and went over his music, his interviews, everything. It's just like what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? And that's really what brought about the Shmoove Tape. That and a heartbreak. Which you'll hear on Shmoove Tape.
On top of that too, it's like you also seem like a family man too, because you support your family a lot in ways, at least from what you tell me. So, everybody, this man is a family man.
Big family energy.
You see it on the gram.
But yeah, it's like that's like one thing to be inspired by, someone with that kind of nature. It's just, you know, props to you on that, because it can be done. You know,
Yeah, props to the album. Like that's dope. Finally,
yeah,
I've been waiting a long time.
Like you deserve.
A lot of people have been waiting.
Yeah, a lot of people have
since I met you.
It's so. In the past, a little bit of history. In the past 5 years, I've literally been nothing but a bullshitter, and that's just me being trill with myself. You know what I'm saying? It's not one of those things. Oh, I had a bad job. I had terrible spending habits. I was blowing money out every weekend doing absolutely nothing. I remember when I got my first, I guess, good paying job, aka the job I'm at now. I started out at $18 an hour, right? And at the end of the year, I think I had grossed. I was working like 60, 70-hour weeks. I had grossed, I want to say like 50 grand, something like that. And when I did my budget and realized how much money went to my budget and how much money I technically had left over for just, putting, after bills are accounted for and whatnot, I think it was somewhere like 20 grand. And I was like, I don't have a single dime to my name to show for that. And after, I want to say 2 years of doing it, I'm just like, yo, like, you got to stop. Like, this is a terrible habit. Like, where has 60 grand gone? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I put a system in my car, which is really it. That's the only kind of productive thing I could say I've done. Besides that, like, I have nothing to show for it. No assets. I don't have no, $20,000 sneaker collection. I don't have, jewelry worth that money. I don't have anything. And, with being a student of Nipsey's and also realizing that, I'm just like, okay, you have to, like, you got to hold yourself accountable. And this past heartbreak I went through pushed me in that direction to make the Shmoove Tape. Because if I was still with that woman, it wouldn't have been out, to be completely honest. So it pushed me in a direction to just like, yo, it's time to make shit happen.
Yeah.
Like, you've been BSing for how many years? Now it's time to just hammer it out. And in 2 months, I don't want to say as expensive as studio costs are, but they're not cheap. I knocked out the Shmoove Tape.
So we're gonna expect this to be like $100 album.
Like I wish. I gotta build the brand up first. You know what I'm saying?
So like you have a date, release date by any chance, or?
Ooh, I shouldn't tell none of you guys. Yes, the release date is 1/10/20.
Oh, 1/10/20.
Yeah, real juicy. So the project will be releasing then. I'll have merch out by then. Sauce God Athletics. But yeah, I'll have a music video out before then, and yeah.
How many tracks? Any features on that?
7 tracks. I got my man's 100 grand, the Shmoove Overlord, Vern Sr. on a song called Execute. I got my young boy Mason Monroe on a song called Superstitious. That one's about heartbreak. Don't judge it, boy. I got, who's my other one? I got Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones.
My God, that was arguably one of my favorite songs to do. The energy in the studio was just ridiculous. So Eddie Jones. But yeah, 7 tracks total. Eddie Jones, Vern Sr., and Mason Monroe, and it was just
all produced by B.O.
Every last bit of it. Produced by B.O. B.O. did the artwork, and yeah.
Nice. I'm excited. Can't wait.
I can't wait to give it to the world.
So where did you record it at?
I recorded it at Soul Asylum Studio. Shout out to Rafael Capone. Shout out to Gabe Lopez, my engineer. God, incredible feel, incredible studio, incredible knowledge. Like, the energy was just dope every single time. So.
I saw your pictures on IG, and it's a nice studio. And it's got you in your element. And
yeah.
We're lucky enough to be able to hear the album. So I gotta say, like, it's a polished project, man. Great project.
Yeah, it's great. It's amazing. Yeah,
it's like,
I'm loving it.
It blew my mind to hear it, because I didn't expect it. I expected greatness, but I didn't expect what was actually done.
So you said 5 years ago you went back and said you were doing this. So what about now? Like 5 years from now, where do you see Sir Pap?
Ooh.
Like, how do you see it? Do you see yourself doing shows? What's the dream tour like?
Ooh, 5 years from now, it's just 5 years from now, I'd be completely debt free. Obviously, more music way on the way. I see myself working towards, if not being at that time, doing music full time. Just between putting out projects, doing shows, features, just everything that is regarded and involved around music. Like that would be the dream job. Like if pay didn't matter, if I got paid all the same, like I would love to do music full time. Dream tour, man, there's too many to name. Schoolboy Q would definitely be one.
Okay.
That would be wild. Another would probably be Currency.
One more, pick top 3.
Ooh, top 3.
Currency.
If he was alive still, Nip Hustle. That would be ridiculous.
That would be dope.
So R.I.P. the great.
That's a nice 3, power 3 right there.
All right, so I mean, we're about to run out of time, but just want to ask you one more thing. So what do you have to say to the world? One thing you have to say to the world.
The Sauce God has arrived, and I'm here. You know what I'm saying? It's Sauce God is here, and I'm ready to let you all experience it. Experience what sauce is.
You said 110, right? 110, 2020?
Ooh. And that's guaranteed. No funny business.
Guaranteed.
It'll be out by then. So, but yeah, Sauce God is here.
Right. Awesome to have you, man. This is finally getting the album from you. We're super excited.
So many years.
Super excited to have it out there. So
it's been a pleasure, and I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on.
Cool.
Gunshots.
Sauce God.
Okay.
Shout out Sir Pap. This is Bushido Mob, Tyler, Jovan, Mateo. It's the first one of many.
And listen to Sauce God. We're about to play it right now.
Yeah.
Let me mix that shit.
Sauce God.
Let me mix that.
Yeah. And we finna grind it out all song. And we winning, still grinding that winner. So when you this hungry, really don't matter what for dinner. It'll all get A. Whatever's on them plays. The money's getting chased, my lovers are straight. Make sure to carry your weight. Your heart been a harbor, no hate. And you know that it's real. Forget how they feel. Forget how they feel. Forget how they stay down and stay solid. You know the drill. You know the drill. You know. So what you off to a small start? Better come up strong and then ball hard. From the little leagues to the all stars. They can't say you ain't give it all hard. Get your hustle locked down. Get them numbers to twerk. Bounce. Making it move. Making it shake.